Hi guys, Bolt here once again with yet another Steel Division 2 video. We're playing a 4v4 here with friends versus randoms, and this is such an exciting match. And I did record this live, but my mic was cut out halfway because, well, someone called me and I forgot to turn it back on. Noob me. But yeah, we're gonna jump into a replay version of this instead, and hopefully you guys will be enjoying it as much as I did while playing it. Now, we have a wide variety of decks. No one is playing the same battle group at all. So on the enemy team we got the 2nd guard, 9th guard, the 3rd guard, and the 44th guard. On the axis we have the 1st Ski Jaeger, the 116th Panzer, the 20th Panzer, and the Panzer Layer. And I'm playing with the 116th on the far left. We got Maldir with the Ski Jaeger on the right side of me. We got Pius with the Panzer Layer here, and Chris on the far right with his 20th Panzer. This is a really exciting match, and yeah, I'm not going to really spoil too much. But anyways, let's just see what we spawned in. So I did make some adjustments to this battle group, giving me 4 of these Flak 38s in the beginning. I got 2 Panther A's spawning in, so I got a squadron of a Panther A and 2 Panzer 3Ls on the left, and a Panther A and 2 Panzer 3Ls on the right side. And honestly, that's a lot of units. That's quite a lot of units. And I also have 3 squads of infantry, a recon, and another recon, and another recon. So the fact that these guys are only 45 points really helps, and you get a really strong cannon on those as well. So let's just speed forward real quick and see what the rest is doing in the meantime. So Maldir is playing with the 1st Ski Jaeger, really strong infantry deck to play with. Yeah, it's really good in infantry, and it has a lot of different types of tanks like Stugs and T-34s. So Panther A is engaging the T-34-76. Getting a direct shot and making it bailed out. The Panzer 3Ls are coming in with their APCR rounds to do additional damage. It's actually bouncing all of those amazingly. Another T-34-76 shows up, and that is basically getting wrecked as well. On the left we got some half-tracks trying to sneak some infantry into the woods over here. I have 2 Panzer Grenadier squads moving up there to take that over. And yeah, that was a really well-positioned tank in the early game there, if you ask me. 2 IS-2s coming up on the left, the 1944 variants with the 180 front armor, absolutely insane. And those guys are giving me a lot of trouble in this game, I can tell you that much. We did manage to destroy the T-34s on the right side, and these guys get RD'd, so I managed to fall back while the Panzer Grenadier moves up there. So what do we got on the left? A nice smoke trail there. That is actually pretty cool. Look at that. Yeah, these IS-2s are absolutely nuts. Panther A does get quite stressed out by some direct hits from these dudes, and all of our shots do minimal suppression damage. Yeah, the plan here is to basically just move behind this patch of trees here and get in some supplies, get in more tanks, and just wait. Meanwhile over here we got Maldir engaging the other T-34. I think that was a Rasvetka version, could have been just a 76. There's also a ZSU way in the back, which he's going to be engaging with this captured T-34-85. Not a captured T-34-85, but what is that, a Russian tank? It says R. So the Germans are playing with a T-34-85 that the Russians captured from the Germans, and we're fighting with it on Russian territory. Sounds legit. So we got some additional tanks coming in, 2 more Panzer 3s and also a 120mm mortar to help out with some suppression on top of these dudes. Infantry sadly is going to get annihilated. Yeah, there's not much these guys can do really. Panzer Grenadiers moving up. These are really good infantry units, 10-man squads, and they got 2 MG42s. So they will be perfect at taking out this AT gun. And as you can see, yeah, it's already panicked. So that was kind of a disappointing start on the left, but definitely really good since we did manage to destroy quite a lot of infantry and the reinforcements. And we're just playing the slow game. So we killed that Zis-2. The other Zis-2 is actually moving in. I don't know why he's deciding to do that, but okay. We've got a plane coming up on the right side towards Pies' position, just to recon. Pies has a pretty good strong hold on top of this, on this town here, with his Panzergrenadiers and Speertruppen. And he also has some lightly armored vehicles like a Gepard and a Puma that can actually do quite a lot of damage to infantry as well. And also a Panzer IV-H just waiting at his side of the hill. Chris, on the meantime, is actually doing a really nice smoked attack, trying to cross on top of this hill. Actually, those smoke rounds are from the enemy, surprisingly. Are they? No, they're friendly, never mind. Yeah, I'm unloading some Panzergrenadiers and a AT infantry, and this Butte down on the right side is actually getting wrecked by the two Zisses. On the left, we did actually manage to kill one of these IS-2s. I kind of forgot to look at it. We shot it by one of these tanks from the rear, and the other IS-2 is just getting absolutely panicked to crap by the remainder of our tanks. We do lose a Panzer IIIL due to a direct hit there. We do get some quote-unquote side shots from those guys, so we got a really good crossfire going on here. These two Panzer IIIs, this one dude here, and these three tanks on the right side, and we barely manage to panic this big beast. Like, what is that about? Calling in a Stuka to hopefully deal the final blow, and just listen to the siren. They added the siren. Listen to it. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, we didn't quite get a direct hit right on top of it, but you know what? Good enough. M42, 45 mil engaging our tanks. We quickly managed to take that out, and this is really where the Flak 38s are shining. They're super cheap, but they do just about enough suppression. They're not the best, like it's just a single 20 mil. And I'll be focusing mostly on my side because this is where most of the fighting happens. But occasionally I will switch to the right. Don't you worry. Supply truck moving in to get these guys back on their APCR rounds, since that is really the only thing that can remotely do damage against that thing. The AP rounds themselves are 100, and with the Panthers it is different. The AP rounds do 135 damage, but the APCR does 185. So you definitely want to keep that going. So yeah, we managed to make it fall back. It is just taking hits after hits after hits. This thing is an absolute beast. It must have either Chuck Norris or fucking Jason Bourne in it, or a combination of both. I don't know. I don't know if someone did some crossbreeding, but yeah, pretty intense. Like, I was so pissed off by that thing, dude. Yeah, the enemy's also moving in some Su-85s into this really thin forest, and the good thing is you can actually move tanks through it. It's a thin forest, as you can see, and you can distinguish those by the color as well. So this is a really thick one, as you can see. It's like really dark green, and this is the thinner one. And in other maps it'll be dark blue and light blue. So we got an opening right here in the smoke. Panzer IIILs are moving in to engage that IS-2 right there to keep it stunned and keep it away from us. We don't want that thing near our units. The other one is coming in as well to do some damage. Good miss there. That was lucky. Any hit from this is going to just wreck these tanks. But yeah, he is panicked again. I tried to take out that supply truck, but sadly we don't manage to. So it's almost phase B, about 2 minutes 30 left. I got a Ju-87 coming in, once again just a single one. Deciding to target the Su-85 here, but after seeing it being engaged anyways, I retarget the IS-2. But once again we don't manage to kill him. Sad times. Now this is a learning moment right here. Me using these single planes was not effective at killing anything, but it was effective at making the enemy spawn in a lot of AA and spending points on it. The bad thing about that is that the enemy has spawned in a lot of AA, so my future AA or future air missions won't actually be as effective compared to when they wouldn't have any AA, and you will definitely see an example of that in this video as well. So we gotta bail out on the Su-85 here. The other Panzer III is moving in to try to take the kill, since this guy is panicked, crew panicked and transmission damage, so he's gonna have to be repaired. Got another direct hit, getting it bailed out. We got a Yak 7B going after a recon, but we managed to kill it with these Flak 38 20mm, so they're actually not too bad. Not too bad at all. They're a good buffer. Like, if you have some really good AA pieces, sprinkle a few of these Flak 38s in there and you'll be fine. So these two Panzer IIIs and a Panther A are moving up to this ridge line here in the hope of cutting off this reinforcement in the form of that road. So Panzer III is once again engaging the IS-2. It's basically at max range. We almost got a direct hit, and I managed to, or decide to fall back. Game is even at the moment. Maldir has taken the hill, which is really important for our later game pushes. Pius is just holding the forest here, and he's helping Chris push up to this hill. But there's a lot of tanks and infantry that is going to be able to stop that. But yeah, Chris and Pius are really good at adapting to the situation, so if one position doesn't work, they will try the next one, and so forth. More infantry coming in to help with this left side here. Basically just to hold the forest and maybe give us some line of sight and a good recon position. Motorbike team getting sniped. That must have hurt. Did it manage to... Oh wow, it actually managed to kill another one. Look at that. Yeah, he took a direct hit to the face. That was painful. The Big Daddy tanks are coming up very soon. It's just... yeah, we just got into phase B, so we're about to have some more fun. My tank's engaging the AT gun there. I decided to fall back and actually use my 120mm mortar on top of it to at least stun it a little bit, because that 100mm at, what is it, 1500 meters range, not even, is probably going to do a lot of damage. So you don't really want to tangle with that thing. But yeah, two 120s will do a lot of suppression there, and this recon is giving us a lot of information. In the meantime, Maldir has 4 of those 120mm. He has some T-34 42s coming up to support me on top of this hill, in case they do decide to push up there. Tanks are back on APCR rounds. They're ready to engage this IS-2 once again. But yeah, I'm being conservative with those once again. I don't want to really risk losing all 3 of them, because that would happen with my luck. I'm just that kind of lucky. Got another recon plane doing some sneaky things on the right. We got a Panther D from Pius holding those Valentines back, but the Valentines actually have a really good cannon, and they fire really quick as well. So those might be tricky thing to kill. Yeah, I signaled here since the enemy is building up some form of armored presence, so we do need to be careful about that. And finally, I'm whipping out the Panther Gs. Now these guys are basically my favorite tank in this game. Not the King Tiger, but just the Panthers in general. This dude does 250mm penetration with the APCR. 185 with the AP rounds, and has 130 front armor. Granted, not as much as the IS-2, but definitely a better cannon than the IS-2. Tanks are once again engaging some things. There is an infantry squad that is engaging our recon that is situated right over there. He's moving up to this bridge to get in cover. And with the help of these 3 tanks, we managed to actually stun that thing before it kills this single recon unit. Mortars opening up on this position in case they have any AT guns still positioned there. And I do that because it actually did manage to destroy one of my Panzer IIIs earlier when I wasn't looking at this place. More Panthers coming in, this time a Panther D for some additional recon here. This guy is not able to see anything that might be in the forest. And the plane might have missed some of those units. Infantry is back at it. Is this recon going to make it? Oh, he's running for it. Run, Hans. What's your name? Cade? Oh my god, he made it. Holy sweet mother of Cade. What a legend. What a legend. Since this position seems to be really working in my favor, I'm moving up an additional Panther G and a Grill this time to deal with any like infantry and AA and AT guns that might be in this general vicinity. And yeah, it's round 2 now. We're coming for you, IS-2.
Das ist nicht mehr auszuhalten.
Beautiful line of tanks engaging one AT gun, which is now stunned. So that's an easy kill right there. And at max range, using Panthers to deal with AT guns is actually not a bad idea at all. So, since the enemy now spawned in a lot of AA, we are actually not able to use these Stukas. Because, well, they're slow and they actually need to dive down to drop their bombs, so yeah, there's a high chance of us losing those. So I decided to retreat. Shooter killed on this one Panther by a direct hit from the IS-2. And sadly, with the second hit, we lose that thing, which unleashes these 3 tanks right on top of that dude. It's actually doing quite a lot of suppression damage there. I mean, it's absolutely insane, that thing. It's just bouncing and taking hits every time.
Verdammt, es hat mich erwischt.
Look at that. It's beautiful. So with that infantry being engaged by these tanks, I also move up these Panther 3Ls and a Panther A combo. And we quickly spot their AT guns that are kind of hidden away in the forest. But with the help of the Grill, we can quickly stun those, so we don't fall back with these boys. We might take some damage, we might actually lose a tank, but we're doing quite a lot of damage to all of their support vehicles. So with that second round, that 45 is going to go down, and this other 45 is going to be the next target for us. The enemy is in the meantime moving up quite a lot of M4s to our flank, but he would have to move up to the hill, which is now covered by Maldir. And there goes that second AT gun. Beautiful hits. Shooter knocked out on the IS-2 on the left side, which is still not giving up. Shooter, loader, and driver knocked out. Like, what more do you need? We also killed an AT gun right there, but with the help of all of our firepower here, and all of the infantry here is just getting bombarded. In the meantime, with our next points, we call it a Panther A Fuhrer to give these guys the necessary veterancy, and another Panther A, since that was the only one we could have afforded at the moment. 2 more infantry squads moving up to the left, and Maldir is calling out a bunch of T-34s. And we also have supplies just waiting to resupply the APCR round on these boys. Chuck Norris not giving a crap. After Machihi getting killed by the Grills on that hill. It's so cool to see that flash and then the round like speed towards you at like Mach 7. Said no one ever. Another 37mm destroyed, so that gives our Ju-87s free reign over on the left for the meantime. Got a PE2R coming in. I have moved this Flak 38 to the front line, little bit. Supply moving in to resupply the APCR rounds in our infantry. And this is once again a really scenic moment right there. Beautiful. So these T-34s won't really do any damage to it, but they are a good stun. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually moving these... Well, I'm telling him to actually use my Panthers as cover. And in the meantime, we are also being artied. So instead of falling back, I actually decide to move upwards towards their spawn, or towards his IS-2, since it is already panicked and fallen back. Instead of actually falling back and giving him time to rearm and such. Maldir has a ton of AA now called in, and that PE2R is going to have a bad time. Guardia DP destroyed in that forest, which makes the front line collapse. So that tells us that they only have these units there in the back. And yeah, that is a really good motivation for us here to move up even more with all of our units. Now, this is just... isn't that beautiful? I'm not gonna pause to take screenshots in this case. I'll do that later. But man, that is amazing. So Phase C has started, giving us more access to better tanks. I'm calling out some more Panther A's, and Panther G's are in the making. These guys on the hill are getting smashed pretty well, actually, by all of the units up north. All of these M4s that are coming in. But they're doing a really good job of stunning everything. Yeah, shoot a kill on that Panzer IIIL, and sadly those are probably going to die. But we got another Panther G and a Panther A coming up. On the left, we keep engaging the IS-2 to keep it stunned, and also we try to, in the meantime, take out the M4s on the right side, since those are pretty easy to kill. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Panthers, 1 more coming up, and more in the making. Pack 40 is going to be unloading here to support these two T-34s that are dealing with a bunch of M4s right over there. 4 of those. With the help of this big boy, we should be able to wreck Phase there. It's a pretty hard thing to kill an AT gun, you'll be surprised. Yeah, this is so cool. Lots of M4s destroyed on the left. That is actually looking really promising. Smoke coming in to block the line of sight between that IS-2 and our tanks, which is a good thing to do. And in this, normally I would have moved up, but seeing that AT gun and having the possibility for them to spawn in something really quickly to deal with us made me decide to fall back a little bit. And instead engage the AT guns here in the tanks there. Pack 40 and the 2 tanks here are still going strong. A Panther A is moving in to help out there with these quad stacked M4s. Planes coming in, but since we have sufficient AA, we will do quite a bit of damage to these dudes, which will cause them to be repaired for quite some time. 120mm more to destroy it there. More tanks engaging on the left. We also got a Pack 40 here that has a direct line of sight to their AT guns, and with the HE they can actually help really well. Crew panicked on that M4. Another M4 spotted over there. One AT gun destroyed, and at this point Maldir unleashed his Nebelwerfers to stun absolutely everything here. IS-2 is back on full health. Loader is killed actually for another 20 seconds, and he's already halfway through being stunned completely. And since we're closer, we are actually doing a lot of damage to him. Surprisingly. There you go. He's already fallen back. Now, 2 more Stukas coming up with 1 ton of payload total. And since we did manage to destroy most of their AA, this is probably the only moment to call this in and hopefully be successful. yeah, I do recommend putting these in your battle group. If you get a direct hit, it's a top attack, and the top armor of tanks are known to be pretty weak. And with that, we destroyed that big boy. Finally. That has taken so long. You have no idea. Well, you do now. 2 more Panther Gs coming up. Meantime, we have a Panther G and an A over there, another Panther A Fuhrer on the right side, and a Panther A just holding back. We got a fighter, which is now taken care of by the STKF sets, I believe, on the right side. Loads of T-34s from Maldir just holding back, while my tanks really do the killing on the left. More IS-2s have been spawned in, 2 more of those 1944 variants, which is a really bad news for us. So we decide to fall back as much as we can. Sadly, this Panther is gonna die. Because, yeah, wasn't much we could have done against that. We could have possibly fallen back here. But yeah, that guy was pretty much stunned too much to do anything. So not too bad. So let's quickly check the right side. We got Chris that has basically set up a defensive position. He's calling out 8 Panzer IV H's to do a spearhead push through this range, since the enemy has just all of the T-34s ever. And Pius is defending the town, and they're really holding some strong and important points. And this point here, this conquest point, should probably be that crossroad, to be honest. Like, why is that important? If you ask me, that is. And maybe they could have even added one to that crossroad. But that's just me. So the IS-2s and the M4s on the left are charging through. I decide to use this tree line here, this tree patch, as cover, make them move into kinetic range, while I whip out 3 more Panther Gs and Maldir whips out 2 more Pak 40s. And I'm also finally calling in my commander that I waited with since phase B, which might have made me kill those IS-2s a little bit faster than usual. T-34, actually not too bad. I mean, they're taking some hits at max range. They might be a really good fire support tank. Especially if they're like behind Panther Gs and stuff. So I'm also whipping out a leader infantry just to make sure that we have like this field of veterancy buff going on there. And as you can see, the enemy is just loading up everything. Look at that. Pretty intense. Are we going to be able to kill everything with these Panthers? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Panthers. And more coming up. This has been such a battle. On the right side, we got all of the half-tracks ever trying to make a push for Pius and Chris's position. A Recon P2R trying to move up, but yeah, the Flak 43s and the Flak 88s are going to do quite a lot of damage. My Ju-87s are ready for another push on the left, and speaking of a push, the enemy's moving up front with their M4s. Sadly, this Pak 40 is a little bit too close to the front line, so I just decided to not even bother moving it back. Beautiful line of Panthers going on here. Yeah, Panthers against M4s is definitely not a good thing against the, well, for the M4s that is. So another rocket strike from Maldir's Nebelwerfer makes me decide to move up my tanks. I was initially going to hold here, but since these guys are basically stunned to crap, I'm moving up over there with those. These tanks are going to move through this line, and the remaining Panthers are going to move to the right side. And all of these T-34s are giving us some beautiful crossfire on them from the right. Enemy is doing a good job here of actually stopping these M4s from dying immediately by smoking it. But luckily we have multiple groups of tanks. I mean, isn't this scenic? Look at that. Yeah, sadly, enemy has invested heavily in AA. Two of these ZSU M15s are immediately stunning these dudes. Yeah, they got that 37mm. And we actually do lose one of these, sadly. It was a sad day for all. Gun jam, sight damage, transmission damage, driver kill, fallen back, out of ammo. Absolutely nuts of a battle. What is that all about? Crew killed on that IS-2, so that's one thing. Definitely didn't expect it when that happened. Another M4 destroyed. There's so many labels on the front line. One of their AA pieces is destroyed as ZSU. That's actually what I was going for instead. And the other one is also being targeted by my tanks up on the hill, and also by these tanks on the front line. And with that destroyed, the only thing they have is these 85 mils up on the back. So those, if those get wrecked, you're basically good. Supply is coming in to load up the APCR rounds, and honestly, I've run out of supplies so quick. The amount of rounds that IS-2 took that we killed over here, like, it was absolutely crazy. So there's a pause in the battle here just to rearm everything. The M4s here are being taken care of by these two Panthers, but they're actually being helped quite successfully by these ZIS-3s. Yeah, we got a armor cracked over there, so beautiful. Another rocket strike right on top of that blob makes me decide to move up once again, so a good coordinated assault going on here. And I decide to move up my Ju-87s with the hope that these 85s are stunned enough. Crew killed on that. Yeah, the M4s are really weak in later game. Those should be used in the early game. The fighters get immediately stunned by the 85s, and sadly, the Stukas are probably not going to survive, so I managed to fall back on them. There's way too much AA there to deal with. It's just a field of fire and dead tanks. So cool. Now we are successfully stunning all of these ZIS-3s though. So there's that happening. In the meantime, there is a large concentration of tanks building up on this conquest point, but they are not really doing anything. But the good thing is Maldir does have a really nice ambush position going on here by these Panzer Shreks and these Pak-40s, and also some more T-34s. So I think we're fine on that right side. Now we have killed most of their tanks, most of their AT guns. What we're dealing with now is these 85mm AA pieces. These are dual purpose, meaning they can fire at ground targets as well. Here's the beautiful KV-2 with its massive 85mm turret, doing only 160 damage, so it's not, you know, actually not the best thing to use. You would probably be better with a Martyr 1. But it is well armored. So that's there.
Der Motor überhitzt. Und ich ebenso. Muss Einsatz abbrechen. Der Motor überhitzt. Und ich ebenso.
Wir können nicht mehr.
So there's a learning moment coming up. Armored Doctrine means don't blob up your tanks. What we have on the left is nicely spread out. It could be better, but like it's not all at one position. There's a few tanks left, tanks in the middle, tanks on the right, and tanks even further right, covering basically the entire left side. What this guy is doing is the worst thing you can do, and we are about to see something pretty amazing unfold on the left here in a second. I'm just gonna tease you guys with this screen here. So I mean, look at all of these tanks. Remember that scene from 300? You know which one I'm talking about. Everything there is stunned, basically. Including the AA guns on the left, and we do manage to actually kill this 85mm. So that is really good. The IS-2 is still damaged, transmission is damaged as well, but our priority targets are actually the AA guns on the left. 2 minutes 50 left. I decide to move up my Stukas to try to deal with that IS-2 on the left side. There's also more artillery coming up right on top of them. I move up my Panthers from this hill to deal with as many of these M4s as possible. Sadly, the enemy AA is still pretty strong, but we managed to stun it before it unleashes another round, and we actually do kill it. So there goes that. Stuka's coming in. Fighters are going for the P2R. We didn't get a direct hit on the top, so we did manage to kill it. Fighters actually having trouble with that, with those P2R, so I do manage to retreat before these Yak 7Bs come in. One thing that a lot of people forget, including me in this case, is to move up structures such as, you know, your AA and such, because they're being completely useless in the back. And they would have been more effective if I just moved them up to the front line. Like, they're not even in range of firing against anything at this point. T-3485 destroyed on that right side. I did call out some infantry to try to take this town over here, but yeah, these guys got not killed fast enough, and they regained like consciousness a little bit too quick for my infantry. But yeah, that was a really interesting match. 4,500 kills versus 1990 losses. Really, really interesting tank battle going on there. Definitely a really good battle group to play with. Lots and lots of tanks, lots and lots of fire support, good AA, good planes, just a ton of fun. And yeah, those IS-2s, dude. I really dislike those 1944 IS-2s. They're just so overpowered. But, you know, realistically overpowered. Not like they have 500 front armor. But yeah, so that was it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this match. I definitely did playing it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch. Link down in the description. And I'll see you guys back in the next one. Take care.